Okay, here's the deal. The news that we've got is so incredible that words really can't even describe how serious our situation is right now. But I will do the best job I can when we come back from break and kind of officially kick off the broadcast today to go over all of this. This is so amazing when I'm looking at Joe Biden, White House, eyeing 19 executive actions on guns. Politico. CBS News, New York Assembly Speaker Silver, we are going to ban assault weapons, period. And the governor said, first they make you come in and register them, then they'll order them handed in. And that is what the bill says. It's now passed the Senate in the New York legislature and is going to the full House. So we are in deep trouble, ladies and gentlemen. By decree of the king, there are some steps that we can take that don't require legislation. That's a video clip of Obama in his press conference yesterday. Rahm Emanuel, we played this clip yesterday, says take American people out of the Second Amendment debate. We have that's going to be coming up. I'm going to play all these clips coming up in the next segment. And New York's also preparing to put gun owners in mental hospitals. I mean, you just can't make up the magnitude of this takeover. All over the country, governors, legislatures, they're all declaring war on the Second Amendment. New York Senate passes draconian gun bill. We've got some good news, though. Sheriffs all over the U.S. are going public, and we have one particular video we're going to play coming up. Sheriff says teachers should be armed. Second Amendment shall not be infringed. And Aaron Dykes' video report is up on our YouTube channel and at prisonplanet.tv. So we have those auxiliary sites so that when InfoWars is down, people are able to get there. Rand Paul slams King Obama over executive order. And there's also talk in the Congress of impeachment against Obama. In fact, guys, will you go to the search engine and type in impeachment? Because I saw several articles this morning that I forgot to print out or send to you, and I want to be able to show those news articles that there's multiple people in Congress now talking about impeachment, and that is the only way. I mean, that should have happened when Obama did Fast and Furious, or when they said that our military was under NATO command and Congress should sit down and shut up. GOP congressman threatens impeachment if Obama uses executive action for gun control. That is a report there that we're going to be going over as well today. That is just some of what we're going to be breaking down. But this is it. This is the big enchilada. And I hope that everybody realizes that this is the time to put up or shut up and decide which side of the republic that we are on. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the times that try men's souls. It's times that we all have to have a gut check and get right with God. Everything that we have unfortunately predicted these globalists would do is now unfolding. And soon the gun confiscation will be in the present. It's in the near future right now. And then soon we will be in the aftermath of whatever comes out of this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the corporate media in collusion with the politicians and their globalist owners are openly saying in the news, oh, the president is allowed to take guns by executive order. Oh, the president is allowed to shut down gun shows by executive order. Oh, the president is allowed to order you to turn your semi-autos in. And they are passing or are in the process of passing outright gun confiscation in multiple states right now. We're going to be going over all of it. Now, if you go to drudgereport.com, you see the big headline up there, Congressman threatens Obama with impeachment if he tries to use executive action to restrict the Second Amendment. And if you click on that report, it's from the Daily Caller. We have our own reports obviously predicting this the last few months because the gun control group said, don't worry, once he gets reelected, we're going to use executive action. And people are like, oh, Alex, you know, don't fearmonger. That's unconstitutional. He won't do that. Texas Republican Representative Steve Stockman who, you notice Larry Prattis pointed out would be our champion and had told him privately he would do this, threatened Monday afternoon that he would file articles of impeachment. Let's get it going. Let's go. Against President Barack Obama if he institutes gun control measures with an executive order. Stockman warned that such executive orders will be unconstitutional and infringe on our constitutionally protected right to keep and bear arms. And he went on to say that I will seek to thwart this action by any means necessary, including but not limited to eliminating funding for implementation, defunding the White House, and even filing articles of impeachment. Stockman said in a statement, boy, he didn't want to get on the airplanes anytime soon. We need more people to come out and support him now, like Rand Paul. Now, not later. In fact, this is late they're doing this. This should have been done a long time ago. At his press conference Monday, Obama floated the possibility of using executive action to enact policies aimed at reducing gun violence. He didn't float it. Look, you see this magazine? This was published in late November, and it says, "This man wants your guns." December issue of Inforce magazine. And in the article, go read it. We sent out an e-version of it to everybody. We have 10 predictions for 2013, and they would be coming for our guns by Mike Adams. In fact, the prediction in here is that they would use executive action to do it. Boom, that happened. We've got the article. Obama wants your guns and the rest of your freedoms. And we go on to say they will use executive action to get our guns. Why? Because they said they would do that, okay? Now, here we are. And you know, some of the more timid mainline conservatives are like, how dare you get in a redcoat's face and say, look, it's going to cause a civil war if you do this. It's not that we want one of these civil wars. It's that they have set up Homeland Security and put it in a posture where they say gun owners, conservatives, libertarians, returning veterans are the enemy. And they've got the state police all over the United States training for gun confiscation. The new Army manuals that we've listed and shown over 100 times here, they talk about gun confiscation in U.S. cities. This is now happening. This is now unfolding. This isn't a game. This isn't a joke. This isn't a drill. This is the real deal. In fact, as soon as Infowars.com is back up, we're rebooting it and doing some scans of the site. As soon as it's back up, I'm going to have Kurt Nimmo, Paul Watson. I'm going to have all of them. Because I called Paul Watson about 7 this morning, even before I saw the Daily Caller, and I said, we need to do a report on this congressman saying impeachment. And I said, impeachment is the way to go. And I said, now, we've got to get on the offensive. And we've got them on Fast and Furious, lying. The Republicans could gut the Democratic Party right now for all the stuff they've done. They don't want to because they're bought and paid for at the top by the same people. Boehner and all the rest of them. They're traitors. They're Benedict Arnolds. 3 hearings last year where they told Congress NATO is now over the military and tells the president what to do. We don't come to Congress. Boom. Instant impeachment. Obama ordering the Department of Energy to shut down coal power plants outside of law, massively increasing our power prices outside of congressional law. Boom, impeachable right there. And so I want Paul Watson, and I want Kurt Nimmo, and I want Adon Salazar, and I want Steve Watson, and I want all the rest of our writers, and everybody else out there should be beating the drum for all-out impeachment. And we're going to impeach Obama publicly. Hold on, Watson. Listen, remember this morning I called you and I said the way to go is to go after him and call for impeachment for all the stuff they've done. We need to put out our own articles of impeachment, and I'm going to talk about the articles of impeachment on air in the next hour. Okay, and you can go check everything I say historically and pull it up. There's at least 10 reasons. People always like the number 10. 10 reasons to impeach Obama, that we must impeach Obama now. Okay, we've got to get on the offense. And we've got to get behind this Texas congressman and others, okay? Because it's just all out. And by the way, while InfoWars is down, you can go to prisonplanet.com. And again, we're trying to upgrade and revamp the site so they can handle the increased traffic. We're getting like 3 times the traffic we used to the last week and a half. And it's just sustained. And the ad servers just can't handle it, so I'm suspending outside ads. So we'll just have our own house ads up there just to get the info out. So they're busy reloading the site right now and everything else. And I'm just telling the listeners that right now. PrisonPlanet.com is the backup auxiliary. Be sure and go there. And Paul, we just need to go through also. You and Steve are always good at ferreting out old articles. How many articles did we write the last year saying he would become a dictator, he would use executive orders, and we have to impeach now? We need to also flashback so people understand, not, hey, look, we're smart. Hey, look, we know what we're talking about. Better listen to us, okay? So have somebody do a report on that, okay? All right, God bless you, my friend. Thank you. All right, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I guess InfoWars is back up now? That was Prison Planet? Okay. InfoWars should be back up soon. New York State Senator, gun bill passed in middle of the night, turns law-abiding citizens into criminals. That's how mafia does it. New York Senate passes tough gun control law. Poll, most Americans support new gun control measures after Newtown massacre. By the way, this is how they play it. The Washington Post puts out some fraudulent poll. Most polls show the majority of people are pro-Second Amendment all the way. And it doesn't matter. If 51% say they want to put me in chains and make me pull a plow, I don't have to do it under natural law. If 51% say I got to turn my guns in, I don't have to. If 51% say they support Obama becoming a dictator, it's not just my right, it's my duty to resist. Do you understand the globalists have installed dictators over multiple European countries? Do you understand we're going headlong into tyranny? Look at this, Politico. Joe Biden, White House eyeing 19 executive actions on guns. Iowa lawmaker calls for retroactive gun ban, confiscation of semi-automatic weapons. New York Assembly Speaker Silver, we are going to ban assault weapons. Boom, going to ban them, make you turn them in. And see, that's what the bill that's passed the Senate in New York says. Just what Cuomo said 2 weeks ago in the New York Times. People are like, this can't be true. I mean, he's on the radio saying it. The New York Times wrote about it. We wrote a story about it, and people couldn't believe it. They wouldn't even follow the links to find out it was true. Because you can't believe it's actually coming to this. Yes, they're coming. They're coming. They're coming for us. They want to get a shooting war started. That's why I went on CNN and said, don't start this. Because people need to know where this is going. People need a heads up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's play Rand Paul on gun control. And again, it's not gun control, folks. It's victim disarmament. It's enslavement. We need to stop using their terms. Here's Rand Paul saying King Obama. And Rand Paul...
I'm against having a king. I think having a monarch is what we fought the American Revolution over. And someone who wants to bypass the Constitution, bypass Congress, that's someone who wants to act like a king or a monarch. I've been opposed to executive orders, even with Republican president, but one that wants to infringe on the Second Amendment, we will fight tooth and nail, and I promise you there'll be no rock left unturned as far as trying to stop him from usurping the Constitution, running roughshod over Congress, and you will see one heck of a debate if he decides to try to do this.
Senator Paul spoke to us in our Jerusalem bureau. Look for more of his comments on the Middle East and Israel in the days ahead.
That's not strong enough, Rand. Okay, you need to do what the Texas Congressman Steve Stockman has done. Okay, you need to get aggressive right now, and we need to start not threatening impeachment. The president is saying he's going to sign 19 executive orders taking our guns. Okay? This is not a game. We've got to come out and say this is illegal. The dictator word, not the king word, the dictator. It's here. It's happening. Let's go out to break with Rand Paul. Here it is, one more time.
I'm against having a king. I think having a monarch is what we fought the American Revolution over. And someone who wants to bypass the Constitution, bypass Congress, that's someone who wants to act like a king or a monarch. I've been opposed to executive orders, even with Republicans.
That's good. We're going to go to break, but listen to me and listen good. Dictator. We are segueing into a dictatorship. People are like, well, wait, he got elected. Hitler got elected. If you get elected and then overthrow the checks and balances, it's called a dictator. The office is becoming a dictatorship. The executive, run by the globalist, we're under occupation. Okay, those aren't words. That's the truth. We're occupied. Alex Jones here with a very important announcement for truth seekers. We've carried a lot of amazing films and books over the years on the online video bookstore at Infowars.com. And out of all the titles we've carried, one stands out because it is just so chillingly convincing. And that's Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert, available at Infowars.com. This film exposes the fraud that Obama is like nothing I've seen. If you want to know who Obama's real daddy is, this is the film for you. Don't forget, your purchase supports our broadcast and our growing media network. You'll also find at InfoWarsShop.com, None Dare Call a Conspiracy by Gary Allen, the book that woke me up. We're also carrying Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21 by Rosa Corey. This book is coffin nails to the globalist takeover. The Greater Good, the most professional and up-to-date film I've ever seen exposing the scourge that is vaccines. These titles and a lot more are all available at InfoWarsShop.com. Yesterday, I was on air talking about what would Paul Revere do during this entire period of history. Mainline conservatives would call him a traitor, and if he rode down the street saying to arms, the redcoats are coming to confiscate our guns, the average neocon would step out with pleasure and shoot him from the horse. Guaranteed. And then salute the redcoats. And that's what some conservatives said about me. They said, you shouldn't yell, you shouldn't get upset. Really, our forebears killed people. When someone comes to usurp and enslave you, that's the response, or you become a slave. I'm just trying to peacefully fix things. I'm a wimp compared to Paul Revere. But then the super wimps call me bad. And here is Boston Magazine. AMC is developing a show called We Hate Paul Revere. Isn't that just cute? And it's all over TV and the culture, bad-mouthing the founders. And they've got 3 or 4 different TV shows now that have just come out airing. One's called Founding Fathers, where anybody who's a patriot's evil. And guess who they wage war against? Gun owners during gun confiscation. And the gun owners are all horrible scum. And the Army infiltrates them and takes them down in Texas. They've actuaried this out. They knew it would be Texas congressmen that resisted them, like Steve Stockman. They knew. And so they've got all these TV shows on ABC, NBC, all airing, where the bad guys are the gun-owning libertarians. They were all being developed last year. That's why I said they're coming for the guns next year, because of that and hundreds of other data points. They pre-program us. They get us ready. This is brainwashing. AMC is not satisfied with Mad Men's foray into the 1960s. Is setting a new comedy in colonial Boston and titling it We Hate Paul Revere. And it's basically about 2 brothers who are not fans of industrialist and activist Paul Revere. And then the show, reportedly, from Deadline Hollywood, just makes the founders look bad. I mean, whoa, a bunch of TV shows demonizing the founders. This is what a foreign occupation force does. That isn't rhetoric, okay? And Obama's not becoming a king. He's becoming a dictator. And that's why the Republicans are going, you know what, we'll legalize the illegals. You know what, we will go for some gun control. You know what, we will raise taxes. You know what, we are going to go for Obamacare. Because they've been told, you sit down and you shut up and you get in line. We know about your insider trading. We know about your girlfriend. We know about your boyfriend. A mafia takeover is taking place. And I'm here going, hey, man, we're in trouble. I'm here having to do this, which is not fun, but it's my duty. And I will not be a slave. And then I get to watch all these armchair quarterbacks going, oh, man, you're going a little far. You know, don't raise your voice. Okay, fine, folks. They're going to take everything, okay? You got that? They're going to gut the country, open North American Union, toll roads on all the roads, doubling, tripling water prices, energy prices. They are going to rape us. They've said they're going to rape us. And as things get worse and worse, I was on Current TV with the Young Turks last night, and he's like, come on, all right, they secretly arrest us. They've got warrantless wiretapping. Yeah, they're setting up highway checkpoints. You're right, but still, do you need mental health? You shouldn't get upset about this. And I'm like, you know what? You're mentally ill. If I was in Nazi Germany in 1941 saying this is wrong, I would have been called insane. If I was in the Aztec kingdom 500 years ago, I would have been called insane for saying don't have human sacrifices. That's what I said to him. He just laughed at me, man. It's funny to these people. All this is happening. It's all happening. It's all going to get worse and worse. There's Army manuals on FEMA camps. There's Army manuals on gun confiscation. And people are so cowardly, they flip it around and go, it's not that bad. Real cowards lie to themselves and say something isn't happening, or it's okay. Yeah, all this is happening, but it's not that bad. And then I am mentally ill. Because I see straight, I know history, I'm concerned, and I've got enough courage to get up here and put my name, my honor, everything on the line. Folks, they're testing us right now. If we bend over, ladies and gentlemen, if we lay down, they are going to run right over the top of us. Again, a lot of people hear this show and they go, man, you're scaring me. Why are you trying to scare us? I don't think you're cowards. I mean, look, if you're in a parking lot and a guy comes up to you and another guy behind you, and they go, we're going to beat the daylights out of you, might as well go ahead and fight. There's nowhere to run. We're cornered in an alley. I'm not going to lay down while they can kick me in the teeth. I mean, it just isn't happening. It's not an issue of courage. These are authoritarians who want to gut this country. They're not liberals. They're authoritarian monsters. And their minions will soon be saying, so they're arresting right-wingers. Big deal. Because they're now talking about that. Just getting rid of us all.
Is it not, my king, time to spring the trap?
No, we must desecrate the soul and the flesh of the Creator's creation.
The chain of life broken forever. A monument to our beauty.
Again, there are 4 different TV shows airing or about to air on broadcast TV and cable bad-mouthing the Founding Fathers. Situational comedies running them down. I Hate Paul Revere. Shows like Founding Fathers and others coming out where they admit in the Variety write-ups that gun owners during gun confiscation resist, and they are dealt with. And the average yuppie will sit there now and fantasize about being the SWAT teams hunting us down. And most of these shows are based, again, in Texas. The globalists know where their resistance is going to come from. Because here's the deal. I can't give in to these people. Okay, I've said I'm not turning my guns in. I am a political information person. I don't plan in the early stages of this, because I'm not going to give them what they want, armed resistance. You know, I'm not sitting there watching my back. If they pull up and take my guns after they're banned, that will be something I'll try to fight through the courts and politically. But they're not going to stop there. They're all over the news saying lock up gun owners and mental institutions. We're mentally ill because we don't want to give up the Bill of Rights. When I was on Al Gore's foreign-owned TV network, owned by the Arabs last night, he sold it, they were saying, do you need mental help? And I'm like, why? Because we have the NDAA and secret arrest and Army manuals training for gun confiscation and FEMA camps and all this stuff coming true? In fact, Bloomberg, here's one of the headlines, Bloomberg urged Obama to take executive action and to ban guns outside of Congress. He urged him to defy Congress. That's Bloomberg, the guy that wants to tell you what you can eat, where you can sleep, how big a house you can live in, how many painkillers hospitals can give out. He just has orders in New York. I order the hospitals not to distribute painkillers to people. I mean, it's just, I'm God. I tell you what to eat. I tell doctors what to do. It's called a dictator pig who swore he wouldn't run for re-election and then got the law changed he helped pass on term limits. I mean, it's just a fraud. A guy with armed guards, a gangster. There have been 50,000+ signatures signed in Mexico to the Mexican government calling for the U.S. citizens to have all our guns taken, like the poor Mexican people who've had total gun bans and the highest crime rate in the world, almost 60,000 dead the last 5 years. just mercilessly under the control of mafia and mafia government. And our government's saying, oh, yes, the Mexicans want us to turn our guns in. We better do it. And we've got the British government, and we've got Piers Morgan, and the Russian TV, and the Chinese TV, all saying, take their guns. And the UN treaty coming up in March. They've got the whole world guns confiscated, and they've got to get us in line with global governance. And again, the impeachment must start now. For Obama, 3 times last year in a letter and 3 congressional committees saying NATO is over our military. And Congress said, no, wait, we fund the military. We direct all that. Then the president executes it, like the football coach. But he's given the playbook, agreed upon by the general manager. And they said, no, we're going to be under NATO command. Boom, impeach him for that. Obama needs to be impeached for Fast and Furious. They've all been caught perjuring themselves and lying. We have them doing press conferences before they even got caught shipping the guns in, talking about the Operation Gunwalker and Fast and Furious. People that said they never knew about it were doing press conferences on it when they were promoting it, when the public didn't know the full extent of it. Boom, perjury right there. Obama shutting down power plants so that his buddies in General Electric make bigger profits and increasing our power prices when Congress didn't pass his carbon tax legislation 3 years ago. He's still just doing it by executive fiat. We need to start the impeachment of Obama for directing the auto bailout to spend $20+ billion to ship General Motors, Volt, and Cadillac factories to Eastern Europe, China, and Brazil. Boom, impeach for that. Economic espionage against this country. Begin impeachment for his environmental departments and people involved in using shadow email systems throughout his administration. Start the impeachment hearings now, and start the impeachment hearings saying he can use executive orders to restrict our Second Amendment, and actively promoting that sedition and that treason against our republic. What more evidence do you need? And the executive power grabs just go on from there. The conflicts of interest. He needs to be impeached. Of course, Congress is involved in the treason as well, but it doesn't mean you can't have good members that voted against it on the NDAA to secretly arrest Americans. Or here's a big one, his secret order on cybersecurity, which then the EU and others bragged, oh, that gives him control of the internet. He's going to give the UN control of the internet. Congress being told 2 months ago, you can't see my secret order, my secret cyber order, when Congress has the power of the purse and the power over the agencies as a checks and balance. He said, I signed a secret order. And the impeachable offenses go on and on and on. But chief amongst them is Obama saying he's preparing to act with executive orders. Also, he had the ATF last year with a rule-making order gun shops when they sold more than 2 guns to report it to ATF as a suspicious transaction, to order a criminal investigation and to open that when it's already on record that you bought firearms through the instant check. And that's law. What they did is outside of law, extrajudicial. I mean, there's many other examples, and a constitutional lawyer has pointed this out. And by the way, I want to get Edwin Vieira on. I want to get Lou Rockwell back on. I want to get constitutional lawyer Fine back on to pick their brains and other examples. And we need to codify articles of impeachment. I want Paul Watson to take the points I just put together, write the article, I'll approve it during the broadcast later, slap my name on it, my John Hancock on it. And we'll put that out there. Just an example to people. Because we got to ride out like Paul Revere and at least point out the treason that's going on. I mean, are there any men left in this country? Is there anybody that cares about freedom left in this country? Oh, I got another one for you. Obama last year signed a directive, not an executive order, not a national security order, not a PDD, presidential decision directive, just a directive, just a letter to ICE saying this large swath of illegal aliens, do we forget this? This is why he's now saying he'll just take our guns, because he's gotten away with it. He comes out and he says, I'm going to sign this order saying we're just going to go ahead and legalize these illegal aliens' kids who weren't born here, but they're under 18, and so we're just going to legalize you. We're just going to say you're legal now. And now he's talking about an executive order just legalizing all the illegal aliens that are here and then letting them bring their families here. And then they're all going to be on welfare. And then they're all going to be able to go vote illegally. We all know that goes on all day long. Just they give them driver's license everywhere. You got the driver's license, you vote. And it's, hey, we already got 56,000 Mexicans being reported, signing a petition. I mean, look at these headlines. Joe Biden, White House eyeing 19 executive actions on guns. They're eyeing executive actions, and they're saying we're going to lean on gun manufacturers, lean on the retailers. What did Chucky Schumer say? They've said their plan. They've gone and had public meetings. We saw Rahm Emanuel say the police are over who can have guns now. The public isn't part of that discussion now. I'm going to play that clip in a moment. Joe Biden, White House eyeing 19 executive actions on guns. Politico. Iowa lawmaker calls for retroactive gun ban, confiscation of semi-automatic weapons, door-to-door confiscation. Daily Times Herald out of Iowa. New York Assembly Speaker Silver, we are going to ban assault weapons, CBS News, and make you physically turn them in. Boom. You hearing this? Oh, I thought I was a fearmonger. By decree of the king, there are some steps we can take that don't require legislation. That's Obama. We're going to play that clip in a minute. Rahm Emanuel, quote, take American people out of Second Amendment debate. Let me keep going here. In New York, preparing to put gun owners in mental hospitals. New York Senate passes draconian gun bill. Sheriff says teachers should be armed. Second Amendment shall not be infringed. That's in Kentucky. Folks are standing, that sheriff starts crying a little bit. He goes, I'm ashamed of the founding fathers were here. But he's freaking out because he realizes he's committed. He's drawn his line in the sand, and he gets sad, not because he's scared. He's realizing what's happened here. How much trouble we're in. All you people out there need to get your heads out of the sand, folks. They're going for this because they think you're weak. And it's what I told Piers Morgan. I said, there's going to be some of us aren't going along. Now, I'm not going to play into your hands. They come to me and take me out, folks. I'm not planning to resist. I want that on record because the minute I said I would resist them, they'll come kill me. And they don't care about the minions that come. I'm out in the open here. But this is the waters we've entered. This is it. We're entering DEFCON 1 for the Second Amendment, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what DEFCON is, DEFCON, you better find out. Rand Paul slams King Obama over executive order threat. Report, Walmart forbids new ammunition orders. Mike Adams, oh war, thou son of hell, as America stands on the verge of domestic war, my heart sobs for histories. And history harshly learned. And then I've got my articles here in the stack. In fact, I had that in my stack where it's up on Infowars.com. It's now back up. Here it is. 54,000 Mexicans signed petition. That's out of Fox News for U.S. gun control and for us to have our guns taken. Oakland leaders have lost grip on violence. Everything's disintegrating. And a lot of people are just like, well, I'll just do what they want. I'll just turn them in. They're going to take everything, folks. They are already doubling power prices in many areas of the country, shutting down the power plants that are city and state-owned, that are totally clean. So General Electric makes huge profits. They want to bankrupt you. They want you poor. This is like Stalin shutting off the food and not letting farmers produce their own food in Ukraine. Let's start going to these clips. Let's go to Rand Paul one more time saying King Obama. And then we'll go to Obama saying, I can accomplish through executive order. Let's go to that.
I'm against having a king. I think having a monarch is what we fought the American Revolution over. And someone who wants to bypass the Constitution, bypass Congress, that's someone who wants to act like a king or a monarch.
All right, that's
I've
enough.
been opposed to executive order.
And he goes on to say, you know, he'll do whatever he can in the law and Congress to fight him. No, impeach now. And by the way, people are like, why are they so arrogant? This is so illegal what they're doing. They're going to stage false flags and blame it on the patriots. You can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to blow stuff up and then play clips of people like myself saying 1776 will commence. And we've got to have people on the ground the minute stuff happens videotaping. That's one thing holding them back is when they did the underwear bombing thing, when they staged that. We had witnesses that were there and saw it, and later it came out in Congress that indeed it was a government operation. Oh, yeah, that came out. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to hit more schools. I have no doubt they were behind Sandy Hook. You can see it all, writing on the wall. All the evidence is there. Look it up for yourself. And this is their season. They're going for broke. And police and military better understand the plan is for us to kill each other. Okay, let's go to the next clip here. This is Obama in his press conference yesterday. And Biden's saying it's 19 orders he's planning. 19 things. This is a purge against gun owners. They want a war. That's why they're now saying he is Lincoln. I told you 4 years ago this was a plan. He is Lincoln. His face on Lincoln. He is Lincoln. He will crush us. He will show us. He will show us the federal power. Here is Lincoln right now.
My understanding is the Vice President's going to provide a range of steps that we can take to reduce gun violence. Some of them will require legislation. Some of them I can accomplish through executive action. And so I'll be reviewing those today. And as I said, I'll speak in more detail to what we're going to go ahead and propose later in the week. But I'm confident that there are some steps that we can take that don't require legislation and that are within my authority as president. And where you get a step that has the opportunity to reduce the possibility of gun violence.
No, that's enough. You know, it all goes on. The article's up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com right now. He says he can have warrantless wiretapping without law of you because he's God. He says he can shut down our power plants without law. He's God. He can give waivers to his friends, not have to get Obamacare for their employees. He's God. He can say that, well, he's not God. The UN and NATO are God, and they say he can launch wars because he's a Peace Prize winner. The plan is to try to start a civil war and use Homeland Security that was set up day one to attack the states, the legislatures, and the people. And this is pre-Obama. The John Warner Defense Authorization Act of 2007, now 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago, states for insurrection by the states and legislatures. Obama was scripted for his role of Lincoln from the beginning. And now they admit it. He's going to be our Lincoln. But not Lincoln for a North versus South that you can debate. And Lincoln was a tyrant. You can't debate the fact that he arrested hundreds of newspaper editors, members of Congress, you name it. It was martial law by a dictator. He overturned Congress. This is a occupying dictator under a foreign corporate takeover. And they've already got countries like Spain, to a great extent. But the ones that are 100% are Italy and Greece, where they appoint the technocratic leaders, the former Goldman Sachs heads. And they're going to do it. And they want war with the American people. Let's go to one more clip here. This is Obama. I won't take your guns away. I won't take your guns.
When y'all go home and you're talking to your buddies and they say, he wants to take my gun away. You've heard it here. I'm on television, so everybody knows it. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in people's lawful right to bear arms. I will not take your shotgun away. I will not take your rifle away. I won't take your handgun away.
But they're now saying that they're going to order everyone under executive order, that's what they're floating in the Washington Post, you name it, to come and get your lawfully already bought guns or guns your grandfather gave you when he died, some semi-auto from the 50s, and you're going to go in while gangsters, let me tell you, they're gangsters, I've been around them. They're going to say, all right, hey, you're looking at me wrong. You got a problem? I'll arrest you right now. Line up. Get the serial number. Now get out of here, you American trash. That's how they talk to you. Get out of here. They're gangsters. one more time. We'll play it in a second, saying, "I won't take your guns," because it's now official. They've told the establishment mouthpiece, Washington Post, where they've been announcing all their plans. White House to announce gun plans Wednesday, which they said they'd do before New Haven even happened, before Sandy Hook happened, before Aurora happened. President Obama will unveil a sweeping set of gun control proposals, victim disarmament, at midday Wednesday, high noon, including an assault weapons ban, and they're saying it's going to be a physical turn-in, universal background checks, and limits on the number of bullets magazines can hold, according to sources familiar with the plans. The announcement to be delivered by the White House is also expected to include a slate of up to 19 executive actions that the Obama administration can take on its own to attempt to limit gun violence. The White House has invited key lawmakers as well as gun control advocates to appear at Wednesday's policy rollout, according to two officials who have been invited to the event. Obama said at the news conference Monday that he would present his gun proposals later this week. A White House spokesman said Tuesday morning that he could not confirm the plans. And ladies and gentlemen, Bloomberg is out, there's video of it, running around saying, just defy Congress, take them. Man, I mean, whoa. The headline should read, Bloomberg calls for Obama to become open dictator. And I'll say this, and I've said it a million times, I will not bow to this. I am not going along with this. I may selfishly get my family out of the country. It just continues to degenerate this fast. But I am going to stay here and deal with this. And believe me, that's not some macho thing. I'm not happy about this. I'm really sad. And folks, you should be freaked out. If your preachers are telling you to go along with this, they're scum. Leave that church. If your local talk show host is going along with this, they're scum. Now's the time to say, no, 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 you shall not pass. You shall not pass this gate. You shall not do this. Folks, they're a bunch of lawless globalists that strip countries down ruthlessly. If they'll do this to us, they'll do anything. And they are. They're gutting everything. They've already taken $47 trillion from us. Offshore. They're bankrupting us. We're going into bondage. It's world government. You're like, but they already run everything. Why are they doing this? Because they want war. They want domination. They want control. They hate you. They hate real Americans. They know you're not going to turn your guns in. They want this to happen. They want a civil war. I just hope that when the history of this is written and these people end up losing, that we have, like they supposedly had Nazi hunters, I hope these people are hunted down worldwide and brought to justice. No matter what happens to me, do not let them run to South America. Do not let them run to other countries. These people need to be held accountable. Nuremberg trials for all of them. Let's go out to break with Obama's pledge that he wasn't coming after any of your guns. Here it is.
When y'all go home and you're talking to your buddies and they say, he wants to take my gun away. You've heard it here. I'm on television, so everybody knows it. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in people's lawful right to bear arms. I will not take your shotgun away. I will not take your rifle away. I won't take your handgun away.
We'll be back. I have a stack of articles saying they're going to confiscate our guns.
While we fight to retain our liberty, while we fight to expose globalism, we have to realize we're talking about a very powerful combination of power.
Renowned author and expert Joel Skousen breaks down the globalist plan to shut down America and stage a new world war.
In one day, America will go from day to night. And if you haven't prepared in advance, there's not enough time to prepare in 24 hours, even if you saw it that early.
Coming to the InfoWar in November is our new documentary film presentation.
Strategic relocation is a systematic way to think strategically in the future about how do I safeguard.
Joel Skousen, Strategic Relocation.
The freeways are going to be crowded, they're going to run out of gasoline, they're going to run out of food, and then they're going to start to go north and south of those freeways.
Joel Skousen is renowned as one of the world's foremost experts in strategic relocation and the securing of your home.
We talk about natural disasters. the health environment. We talk about pollution, the water quality. My personal experience about being in every one of these states.
Government is digging in for the organized, incremental collapse of society and world war.
The U.S. isn't building huge underground bases and bunkers because of some terrorist threat. They know that a massive nuclear attack is coming. They want that attack to come. Most people won't even be ready and won't be able to get out of town when any of these nuclear weapons fall, because there'll be absolute panic.
There is no preparedness without strategy.
What I tell people is that you do have time. Prepare wisely in advance.
This Christmas, give the gift of preparedness. Strategic Relocation, the film, with Joel Skousen and Alex Jones.